Hey guys, so today we're going to be taking a look at LR Physical Super Janemba at 55% level 1 links. The newest LR for Global Dokkan, even though he technically came out next to Tech Gogeta on JP. They decided to delay this guy a little bit on Global. That's okay. So let's go over his details, and then I'll go over some of the teams that I've built for him. So to start things off with, he is a Movie Bosses or Corroded Body and Mind leader. Key +4 and HP attack and defense plus 150%. So now we're entering this era where we're getting these summonable LRs that have legitimate, like really decent leader skills. And we sort of saw that as well with the LR God Goku and Hit, who leads Accelerated Battle and Universe Survival Saga, sort of a similar leader skill to this. So we're shying away from those 130% leader skills with 3 key. Actually, I still think it was 4 key, but the extra 20% to stats on this leader skill, 150 over 130, definitely makes a pretty significant difference, I think, for these leader skills. So nice to see these gold coin LRs actually becoming, usable leaders. That's good. Super tech effects for Janemba, we have the 12 key, which is the Savage Skewer, causes colossal damage to enemy and lowers defense. And then we have Hellgate, which causes mega colossal damage to enemy and greatly lowers defense. So in terms of the actual super tech effects themselves, I would say that these are pretty bad, actually. This is the one aspect of Janemba's kit where I would actually say that this is pretty underwhelming. They could have definitely added some extra effects, I think, into these super tech effects to make him a little bit better. Because, as you guys know, at this point, lowering defense in this game is next to worthless, almost. So it doesn't really serve a purpose here other than in specific events, like the Broly Dokkan event and stuff like that, to do a little bit of extra damage to the enemy with lowering defense, but pretty useless, honestly. His passive is the Evil Demon. He gets attack and defense plus 120% at the start of the turn. Guards all attacks within the same turn as the first or second attacker in a turn. So if you decide to float this character off in slot 3, just keep in mind that he will not be activating his guard against all attacks, part of passive there. He gets key +2 up to a max of 6, and attack and defense plus 22% up to a max of 66%. With each attack performed as the second or third attacker in a turn. And then he gets a high chance of nullifying Ki Blast super attacks directed at this character. So the most important thing to take away from this character is that he's going to be the most powerful in slots 1 and 2 to get that guard activated. But I think more often than not, what you're going to want to be doing with this character is start him off in slot 2, because slot 2 is the only slot that overlaps the stacking effect plus the guard. So you're going to be able to continue to guard against all attacks in slot 2, but then also build up his attack and defense plus his key. And we just mentioned, by the way, that the super tech effects were pretty worthless. But keep in mind that, additionals might not be the worst idea for this unit, just because of the fact that you can potentially get multiple stacks in during the first few turns of battle if you have this guy in slot 2 with additionals. Doesn't even have to be an additional super attack. It could just be an additional normal attack to get that extra stack in. For the key and stats for the slot 2. So additionals might not be the worst thing to go for this character, just if you want to start building up his stats much earlier in battle, get maybe lucky with 1 or 2 additionals early on. So could definitely be beneficial to him. And then he has the 50% chance of nullifying Ki Blast super attacks, which I would probably say Ki Blast super attacks are the most common classification of super attacks in this game. Now this might be a bit of a controversial opinion. At least I think it is. But I'm actually not a fan of Janemba having a high chance of nullifying Ki Blast super attacks. The reason for that is, while that is actually a very powerful and a very good mechanic by itself, this character is already so good defensively, and he's already able to tank attacks from pretty much everything anyway, that I don't really see that being super valuable. Unless you're in a position where he has like no links active and he's, getting attacked before he gets any chances to stack up and stuff like that. There are scenarios where it can definitely be good, but looking at this character, what I would prefer that they do, instead of giving him the high chance of nullifying Ki Blast supers, is I would have preferred if they had given him a little bit of extra offensive power in place of that. Maybe he gets like performs an additional attack that has like a high chance of becoming a super attack in slots 1 and 2 or something like that. I think that would have actually made this unit significantly better, because one of the biggest criticisms I think that I will have for this guy is that his offensive potential is going to be rather low until he gets his full passive built up. So we will see just how he looks, but you know, off the bat, and obviously I've seen showcases of this character on the JP version where people have already had access to this character for a few months now. My biggest concern and my biggest sort of, I guess, pet peeve with this unit and an issue with this unit is the nullifying Ki Blast supers. While technically, again, it is a powerful effect, for this character specifically, he's already so good defensively that I don't really think it's going to actually improve him beyond what he's already able to do. Then he has an active skill, which is the typical classic Rage mechanic. So this one requires that you be above 66% HP starting from the 6th turn from the start of battle. Pretty much the same conditions, I believe, as the LR int Rose Goku Black. And then it's your standard Rage mechanic where, you know, he enters the Rage form. He actually does get an additional 1 key per key sphere obtained. And then for the super attacks, he does get a high chance to crit on both the 12 and 18 key supers, so that does add a bit of extra damage here. I actually think people do underrate the Rage mechanic a little bit. When you compare something like that to something like, I don't know, just like a standard active skills super attack effect, like, I don't know, let's just, for example, say LR AGL UI Goku's active skill super attack, the damage difference is actually, like, pretty low. Like, I don't think one of them is doing much more damage than the other, so it's comparable to those. The only bad thing about this Rage mechanic is the requirement of there being 6 turns, so you're pretty much never going to see this in like Super Battle Road, for example, whereas with the AGL UI Goku's active skill, right, you can use that, I believe it's on turn 4, so it's actually much easier to get that off than this, but the actual effect is pretty underrated, I would say. Alright, and then moving on to his links, he has Big Bad Bosses, Shocking Speed, Metamorphosis, Brutal Beatdown, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. I think his link set is pretty good for a villain character. Obviously, Big Bad Bosses is the big link you're looking at. Shocking Speed is his main key link, along with Fear and Faith. We'll take a look at those individually in a second, but Metamorphosis is a good link. Obviously, Fierce Battle and Legendary Power are a good link. Brutal Beatdown is really the only one I would say is a bit questionable in terms of it being seamless with his teams, but there definitely are a few characters that have Brutal Beatdown that this guy could link up alongside. When we eventually get an LR Final Form Cooler, I definitely expect him to have Brutal Beatdown, so that could eventually end up being a good partnership on like the movie boss team. So those are his links. His teams, this is probably the one area additional to the I guess the high chance to nullify super or nullify Ki Blast supers that I would say is a little bit underwhelming to me. Movie bosses, Transformation Boost, Corroded Body and Mind, Exploding Rage, and Accelerated Battle. So in this day and age, with like the 6 billion categories that exist in Dokkan, him only being on 5 definitely does hurt him, I think. Movie bosses and Corroded Body and Mind are pretty much his own team under his own leader skill. Transformation Boost, obviously a very, very good team. Exploding Rage is, the reason he has that, by the way, is because he has a Rage mechanic. I don't really think he'll work well at all on that team. Just the team is just pretty much an archery range for Namek Goku, right? So his Janemba, I don't really expect to work that well with Namek Goku. And then Accelerated Battle, I guess he could work okay on there. I didn't even bother to build a team for that because I think he'll just fit on the villain-centric teams a lot better than this. The Accelerated Battle team, I could maybe see him working well with the STR Kid Buu. That could be a pretty decent rotation, him and STR Kid Buu when he comes out on Global, one of the most recent Dokkan Fest on JP that came out for New Year's. But in terms of the actual teams that I built for him, I built two different teams. The first one is going to be his own team, Corroded Body and Mind and Movie Bosses. He actually does work really well with the Tech Frieza, Transforming Frieza, because the way Tech Transforming Frieza works is his main key link in first and second form is Fear and Faith, which Janemba has. And then once the Frieza goes into third form, he switches his main key link from Fear and Faith to Shocking Speed, which Janemba also has. So they're always going to have a main key link to share between the two, no matter which form Frieza is in. So I actually think that rotation there is going to work quite well. And then I did end up putting on the LR int Rose Goku Black on this team for 2 reasons. Number one, I'd never really get a chance to use that unit anymore, so I wanted to at least have him get an opportunity to shine. And then number 2, Fear and Faith, they both share that, so should be a pretty good partnership between the two. Janemba shares 4 links with both the Goku Black and Frieza, so that should be a pretty decent rotation on both ends there. We have the floaters being the Tech Janemba as well as the Broly Trio, and then the STR Cooler. And then the other team I built was just a classic Transformation Boost / Terrifying Conquerors team. I'm going to have Janemba next to the LR Boo tanks. They actually do share 5 links with each other. Metamorphosis, Shocking Speed, Fierce Battle, Fear and Faith, and Legendary Power. And then when he transforms into Buhan, he does end up picking up big bad bosses. I think it's actually in place of... What is it in place of? I believe it's... Is it Fear and Faith? Yeah, actually he does lose Fear and Faith. So he actually does end up sharing 4 ki with the pre-transformed Boo tanks. But then I feel like by the time we get to Buhan and the ability to transform into Buhan with the LR Boo tanks, Janemba should have stacked up enough of his passive to where ki is no longer as big of an issue. So him losing out Fear and Faith with the Buhan shouldn't be that big of a problem. Especially when you're picking up a link like Big Bad Boss. It's just going to make life much easier and much better. Then obviously the other rotation is going to be the 2 freezes, and then floating we're going to have both the STR Coolers and the Tech Janemba. The one thing just to note quickly about the team is that Janemba himself is not on Terrifying Conqueror, so for fighting more than one enemy, we're going to end up not receiving any kind of support from the STR Cooler if there's multiple enemies, because that's what he does. But against one enemy, Transformation Boost, we will be seeing the support kick in. So these are the 2 teams I'm going to be using. I guess I could have made an accelerated battle team, but again, I don't really think that he's going to work too well on the team until we get the STR Kiddo on Global. But let's go ahead and jump into the first event here, which is going to be the Extreme version, Extreme class, I guess, Super Battle Road, with this setup here. Again, I don't expect it to be too difficult for Janemba. Even at 55% with level 1 links, he should be able to be just fine in that event. Alright, so we're going to jump into Extreme class Super Battle Road here. Typical, I guess, modern take on the Terrifying Conqueror's Transformation Boost team. The one other unit I actually forgot to talk about in the intro was the newly Extreme Z Awakened AGL Baby Janemba from the Heroes banner. He actually does work pretty well with this Janemba. He does share both major key links, Shocking Speed and Fear and Faith with Janemba. And this AGL Janemba actually does work really well as a slot 1 character because it does have that high chance to dodge, plus his defense is so high. So I think we could also use him as an option, either both on this team or this team as well. The other one that I talked about, his own setup. So maybe we'll swap him in for like 1 run just to see how that goes. But that is actually a pretty powerful rotation. It gives him 4 ki at the start of the turn, plus pretty much have slots 1 and 2 on lockdown. But for this run, we're going to be doing this again. I want to have both the Janemba and Boo tanks next to each other. Again, those 2 also share 4 ki with each other, Shocking Speed and Fear and Faith. Both freezes, and then this should be a piece of cake. So let's go ahead and jump in here, see how they work. I'm not going to bring a support memory just to see like pretty much how the raw run goes here. This is pretty... Oh, you have auto one. This is a pretty bad opening rotation, though, unfortunately. I am going to rotate Frieza, actually, here. And I'm going to have to rotate off the Janemba next turn. We also cannot get Janemba's support. Yeah, this is a really bad rotation. Wow, okay. Let's, I guess, focus on you. Can't get you a super at all. Actually, I could do this. Yeah, let's just do that, whatever. This is really, really unlucky. We'll do that, lower his attack a little bit, and then full power Frieza. I guess we'll just annihilate everything. Yeah, because again, I want to have Janemba next to the Boo tanks. This did not work out well. If we end up really not seeing like any kind of showing from Janemba at all in this run, I'll probably end up cutting this a little bit, and then we'll just redo it. Because these honestly, these rotations could not be worse. This is the worst possible outcome. So, we'll see. Alright, so we're getting an additional here. It might not be until like the final fight where we actually see the rotation that I want, which is annoying. Alright, then Frieza's just gonna soul everything. Oh, we actually did an additional. That's good. I didn't want him to. Okay, 30k damage. Alright, so let's move you off. I guess I'll just put Cooler, or Third Form Frieza first. Do I? Yeah, let's just leave him like that. That's fine. We'll get rid of you. So Janemba, turn 1, he only has Brutal Beatdown, Fierce Battle, and Metamorphosis active. He's not getting support from Third Form Frieza, but he's also not getting support from this Cooler either. So technically, there's actually no support for Janemba whatsoever. He's at 117k. He's also not going to be guarding in slot 3. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. See if, okay, cool. We have the orbs lined up nicely there. Let's go ahead and do this. It's gonna hurt if we get supered in slot 2 by Trunks, but it is what it is. Hopefully we don't take tons of damage. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, third form Freeze is just gonna destroy this Goten. Please don't kill everything. Okay, well, we killed everything. Okay, so it's not going to be until turn 3 of the next turn where we'll see Janemba actually do something, I guess. This rotation right here is pretty bad, so... I think I'll actually leave this Janemba in the front here. We can get the support as well. If I just do that. That's actually his full passive as well. Let's... I'm scared of Cooler getting supered at the end. I guess by Gohan. We'll just focus on Gohan. That's fine. Let's grab that. Gohan. Can't stack his defense. I guess we'll just grab this. Just focus on Gohan continuously throughout this turn. Do that. Alright, so... I'm actually kind of hoping we don't finish this... we don't finish this fight too fast. Alright, Gohan should be able to be taken out here by Bootangs, I think. I hope. They live. Okay, Cooler's gonna take him out. That's fine. Only killed one enemy this turn. That's actually good. So we're pacing ourselves pretty nicely. Unfortunately, we have the Frieza rotation next turn. Okay, that's fine. Um, 304k defense. Okay. Kind of sucks. Whatever. Let's just go for like Krillin or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Third form Frieza. I'm also going to attack Krillin. And then Cooler. I'm also going to attack Krillin. Whatever. Just get Krillin out of here. What good bloodline units do not like Krillin? Oh, Krillin's going to super. Oh, how nice. Alright, almost 10 million. Goodbye, Krillin. Well, I don't think we'll see Janemba do anything. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, at the very least, if we do actually clear this fight here, we'll go into the third fight. Well, he's gonna live this, isn't he? Please crit or additional or both. Additional. No! He's gonna live with like 1 health left. This run has been so unlucky. Alright, he's attacking in the front. Let's just leave things this way. We'll be able to grab this. This is, again, 117k. He has 3 links here, right? Or no, he's 5 links with Bootangs. Plus, we can actually grab Janemba's support passive. Let's go ahead and do this. We could potentially get the Ki Blast nullification if Roshi does super right away. Let's see if this happens. At the very least, we will take him out here, so that's good. Okay, no damage. And then this is what I was talking about. 2.7 million is not good to start things off with, right? Especially if you leave him in slot 1 like this, he's not really going to be doing much. And then on top of that, he's also not really going to be stacking his stats in his Ki, so... I think what we'll do is we'll actually just cut here. I'm going to jump back in for another run, and we'll just cut through the turns and only focus on Janemba. Alright, so turn 1 of the second run through here. We do have Janemba immediately, which is nice. Unfortunately, again, he's not on Terrifying Conquer, so Cooler's not going to be providing any kind of support to Janemba whatsoever. Obviously, we're going to be rotating the Bootangs off onto this rotation, so we'll have him set up shortly. I'm going to leave my Cooler here. Again, Janemba, no support, 117,000 defense, but we're going to put him in slot 2 so we can start building up his passive a little bit. We'll focus on, I guess, you. And then we'll have Janemba do this. So this is going to allow him to stack up his stats here. And then with Cooler at the end, I guess we'll just keep attacking Goten. Maybe we can take him out here before the end of the turn. Okay, so 3.5 from you. I expect a honestly, pretty pitiful attack stat from Janemba. He's not in the greatest scenario. Yeah, 1.4 is really bad. But again, we're gonna start stacking his stats here and stuff like that. So yeah, 0 damage received, and he's looking pretty good defensively. Oh, we could potentially nullify this. High chance. Yep, there it is. But again, here's the thing, right? This is my point from earlier. Even if we didn't nullify that, how much damage would we have realistically taken? Like 30k? So like we save 30k damage, I guess. That's cool. Like it's not that big of a deal, right? Alright, so here we are on the second fight here against the Resurrection F Squad here. Do not yet have Bootanks rotated on. He will be here next turn. Gonna leave the Tech Janemba in slot 1 just to get the support. Actually, we can just go ahead and grab this. So that should work as well. Going to focus, I guess I'll just focus on the Gohan, it doesn't matter. So we're going to get support for Janemba. We're going to allow Janemba to stack up his stats in slot 2. 167k defense, by the way. It does have 4 links here. He has big bad bosses. That's why you see that massive jump there. Our HP is a little bit lower. So we should be good to go here. The only thing that could potentially go wrong is if Piccolo and Krillin both super at the end on Cooler. But other than that, we should be okay. Let's go ahead and do this, and then Cooler, we'll go ahead and pick this up just with the healing, I guess. And we'll see how this goes. You can see definitely the key struggles for physical Janemba. I mean, it's just, without the Bootanks being here, okay, so we're fine. Piccolo's gonna super here, we're good. Without Bootanks being on this rotation to give the 4 key, it's pretty difficult for the Janemba to super. 2 million with big bad bosses and support. Yeah, it's not the not the greatest number here, but yeah, we'll be fine defensively, so that's good. Yeah, 34k damage we just took from that. So that's what I mean. Like, even if that was a key-based super and we nullified it, we're not like, you know, it's not a matter of life or death. It's just, you know, we're saving a little bit of HP, nothing crazy. Alright, so here we are on the final fight. Finally, we have the rotations, intended rotations, established here. What a nightmare this has been to record, man. Okay, so we have, obviously, Tech Janemba here to support. Bootanks is in the front here. This is a pretty difficult scenario because if Vegeta supers right away, we'll take a lot of damage, and then obviously Goku has type advantage over Bootanks. So we're kind of just picking and choosing where we think he's going to super. If he supers Bootanks, we're probably just dead. 156,000 defense with Bootanks. The problem with Bootanks is he doesn't have big bad bosses until he transforms. Janemba is sharing big bad bosses with the tech one here, so that's why he has that. So he actually does have 6 out of 7 here once we get the legendary power. I do want to make sure I do get the 18 key with this guy, so we'll go ahead and target you. Stack our defense there. We'll go ahead and grab this. Cool. That'll allow us to get the Tech Janemba support as well. So let's go ahead and do that. This is easily going to be Janemba's best turn here in this event. We'll grab the support with Tech Janemba with this. So let's see what we do here. No items, no support memories, none of that. Okay, we're good. He didn't super right away. 3.9. Goku's super attack will still hurt and do a lot of damage, but we should not die, I don't think. Okay, great. Yeah, we're fine. And then this Janemba is at 3 million. Again, it's with pretty much every link active with support, he's at 3 million. That's what we're looking at here. But, you know, I mean, he's a unit that's just, you know, he's going to stack his attack and defense over the course of like 2 or 3 turns, so that's the trade-off for him being so good defensively. Is just, you know, the long haul that he takes and the long wait that it takes for him to actually build up his offense. So, all right, so we're going to jump into the fused fighter stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history now with Janemba's team, movie bosses / corroded body and mind. We're going to be using obviously a friend Janemba as well. The friend is also 55% level 1 links, but he does have a level 5 crit silver skill orb here. Here we go, level 1 links. So again, I want to have one Janemba next to the Tech Frieza, one Janemba next to the Rosé, and then we have the 3 floaters on the right there. So yeah, let's just have this, you know, both Janembas build up their stats. Maybe we'll get the rage mode in here, and then we'll just call it a video, I think. That's pretty much the extent of what this character can do, right? Alright, pretty poor rotations as usual to start things off with, so we'll have to rotate off one of the Janembas. I'm going to rotate off Rose probably here. We'll have Frieza start stacking his stats here. Let's go ahead and do this. Broly, I guess we'll give the offense. And then Rose, let's go ahead and do that. It's been so long since I've used Rose. It's actually feels like it's been like almost a full year since I've used him. I mean, I do use him in Battlefield a decent amount, right? I think he actually does provide a lot of help for Battlefield, but in terms of like an actual team in an event like this, I just haven't used him in like literally a full year. Damage is pretty solid, 4.2 on this 12 key super is definitely good. So excited to see how he does next to Janemba. But let's go ahead and rotate off. I guess we'll just rotate mine off, doesn't really matter. How do I want to do this? I mean, I could just do this. Yeah, we'll take a lot of damage in the front, but we'll be able to get the stack with him. So I think actually I will do this. Let's start attacking with these Janembas here. We'll be able to get a stack on both of them. And then just remember that okay, it's going to hurt. The Janemba at the end, my Janemba, is not going to be guarding. So 1.8, okay. And because we are only facing a single enemy here, Cooler is this time providing the support. So unlike these Super Battle Road runs we just did, so keep that in mind as we go through here. Okay, nice. We got the stacks for both of the Janembas here. Gonna get the transformation on Frieza, heal up a little bit. I'm gonna actually have this Janemba stick around. Actually, no, I'm gonna have Broly stick around because we get the legendary power with Janemba next turn. Yeah, let's just do this, whatever. Actually, because we get Metamorphosis, so let's just do this. We'll be able to get the guaranteed dodge with the Broly Trio if we do that. As well as the defense boost, so let's do this. We don't have to get as much ki with this guy just because this is a super class enemy. And then Janemba support. Alright, we're looking pretty good here. We'll have the rotations established starting from the next turn. Now, the only thing to note about the rotation with Rose and Janemba is Rose really has to attack first before getting hit. Otherwise, he takes so much damage. So we'll see how this plays out. If there's attacks in the... Okay, perfect. This is actually really good. There's no attacks in the front, which means we can put Rose there so that we can have Janemba continuously stack up in slot 2. So this is the first turn we're having with Janemba actually attack with a stack of his passive. So yeah, look how much his look how much that jumped, 193k. Now I think we do have big bad bosses here. Yeah, we do. So we have everything active except for shocking speed, which is fine. Rose, I'm gonna actually not get same type orb just so that we can maintain big bad bosses here. So I'm gonna just grab this, and then the Janemba will go ahead and grab this. That's actually gonna be 23 ki. So this should be a pretty good turn from Janemba. Only one stack of his passive, so we'll still be able to get 2 additional stacks after this. But you can really see that, you know, the difference between him having no stacks and like even just 1 stack does actually make a pretty significant difference offensively. What is he going to be at, like 4 million? Yeah, 3.86. That's a lot better. So this is going to be stack number 2. Additional maybe? We have a 10% chance? No, okay. Okay, so we're okay. Yeah, this is gonna do like no damage. We have over 200k defense and we're guarding, so we're definitely fine. Yeah, literally 0 damage. And then we'll have my Janemba this coming turn here, next to the transforming Frieza. I actually really didn't want that 2 additional because of course, I want to have my Janemba be in slot 2, and I don't want Frieza to finish off this Gotenks. Alright, so we'll heal up a little bit, which is going to remove big bad bosses, but it is what it is. So with this Janemba in the middle here, we're going to have... well, we would have everything except for Brittle Beat, Den, Fear, and Faith if we didn't fall below the HP threshold. Actually, let's just do this with Frieza. Hopefully he doesn't kill. And then Janemba will do this. And then the Broly Trio will be able to give the support for offense. We'll do that. I'm really hoping Gotank's supers Frieza in the front, so that we can fall below. And also don't crit. Don't kill him. Okay. Perfect. Please, super, 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 super. No! Alright, here's stack number 2, 3.19. Yeah, you can see the massive difference with big bad bosses. Alright. So this is stack number 2. And we'll be able to get our final stacks on both Janembas in these 2 turns here. Also, really lucky that none of these enemies are deciding to attack in the front, so that we can have Rose actually do something. 160k, this is without big bad bosses here. We actually can do the rage mode, but I think I will hold off on that for now. I just want to get the stacks here. Rose, I guess we'll just grab this one so we can knock the physical key spheres down a little bit. And then protect Janemba, we can get support from that. So far, so good. Rose consistently hitting over 4 million with his 12 keys, pretty good. And then Janemba's up to 3.48, so this is actually going to provide him his final stack that he needs. So now he's fully built up, which means we can switch him into a slot 1 main character here. So that Rose will always guarantee super before he gets hit. So his defense is going to be a lot better, so that's good. Alright, and we'll also be able to get the final stack that we need for my Janemba. I just really hope that this Frieza doesn't kill in one hit. Please don't. Frieza's looking pretty good. So my Janemba here, again, no big bad bosses, but we do have 175k defense. Well, let's go ahead and grab those, drop the rainbow over there. We can do this and connect the int key spheres, get a max key super, and then cooler. It doesn't really matter what you do, whatever. Let's just do this. Alright, come on, Frieza, don't kill him, please. Just don't do it. 4.5 million, huh? No crit, no additional, no nothing. Okay, perfect, nice. That is actually perfect. Okay, so now we have both Janembas maxed out from their passives. So this is gonna be good. Now we can swap them to being slot 1 units. Perfect. Okay, so I should be able to take this guy out here, maybe, hopefully. I don't want him to live with like 1 health. Okay, cool, perfect. Who is this now? Is this Gogeta? Base form Vegeta, okay. Key definitely does not look great, but as you can see, Janemba is starting out with, what is that, 16 key now with his full passive active, so that's very good. We actually grabbed Shocking Speed with the Broly Trio there. What if I leave Rose in the front just to get Big Bad Bosses active? I'm tempted. I don't think we would die if we did this, right? I don't think. I'm so tempted to do this. I think I will actually do this. We'll do this. Unfortunately, we... Is there a way to like maneuver the key around a little better? I don't think so. I want to grab... Because I want to grab the offensive support with the Broly Trio, so I'm going to save that for them. I'm going to do this with Rose. Janemba, we can give you 21 key, I guess, is what we'll settle for here. So he's at 185k defense. Let's go ahead and do this. Alright, just don't kill me right away. Oh god. This lowers defense, I think. That's a lot of damage. Oh, nice, he dodged. Okay, we're good. So now we'll have Big Bad Bosses active. So what does Janemba look like here? Yeah, 4.89. That's way better. Now, obviously, with all of the effort that it's taken to get to this point, I mean, this is what, turn, like, 8? Yeah, this is turn 8. Turn 8 to get to, like, just barely under a 5 million attack stat, I wouldn't say is exceptional. That's just the truth, right? But defensively, he's very, very good at this point. Like, he's literally unable to be hurt, almost. So, at least that's good. But again, offensively, just really not anything too special. But again, he is 55% level 1 Link, so there's a lot of room for improvement there. Alright, so here's my Janemba. This Frieza does have big bad bosses, and we do have an active here. Oh, do you get anything else in the middle? We get Metamorphosis in the middle. I am going to leave Janemba in the front just because I think the Golden Frieza would probably just one-shot Vegito. So I'm just going to leave things this way. We'll do this. And then we'll be able to get Janemba support if we do that. So that's perfect. Hopefully Janemba puts up a good number here. Let's see. Alright, we get up to 4.4. Okay. And he's pretty much immune to damage as well. There's a super, we can nullify this, or we cannot. We do nullify it. But again, it wouldn't have done anything anyway, so it doesn't matter. Again, I just don't think that mechanic is very good on Janemba. That mechanic, the ones where you can nullify damage from certain types of super attacks, like, think about that mechanic on a unit like LR Rose Goku Black. Like, imagine if this LR Rose Goku Black, who is not known for his defense, had a high chance of nullifying key-based supers. That would actually add a lot of value to this character, I think, because he would be able to, you know, actually be useful in some of these difficult events if you get lucky, and you could just straight up not take damage from certain types of attacks. So, on a character like Janemba, I just feel like it's kind of wasted, honestly. He doesn't really need it. We can actually use Rose's active skill. I think we'll just go ahead and do it. I haven't seen this in like 500 years, so I might as well get it out of here. Alright. I think after this, we'll probably just pop an item to heal up so that we can use Janemba's Rage Mode as well. And then I think we'll probably just end the video with his Rage Mode. We've seen pretty much everything there is to see from him. We saw him with Super Battle Road, and we saw him in a longer event where he can build up his stats. We saw him with pretty much his best linking partners, so I'm pretty content with the range of events we've seen him perform in. Pretty solid. I do want to try and get an 18 key with Rose, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, this damage is not bad, right? When you add all this up. Alright, we actually don't even need to use an item. We can just use this Rage Mode here. So let's go ahead and pop this, and then we will see what kind of damage Janemba is able to do. Alright, so he does get an extra key for every key sphere he gets. What's the best way to do this? It's probably this. And then grab the greens, and then grab the purples again. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that is an 18 key. So this is... We can see both animations here. So once we get this guy with more dupes, we get more additionals in him. He actually can do a guaranteed crit, assuming that he gets an additional super in any of these slots. It works like the 6th anniversary super attack effects. But let's go ahead and see how much damage he ends up doing here. It's actually, I think this is an underrated effect here. He does more damage than people think. Alright, this is fine. I'm going to take 0 damage from this. He lowers our attack, okay. 1.59, but we do have a 50% chance to crit, which we got. 1.68. 50% chance to crit, which we got. And then 1.86 with a 50% chance to crit, which we got. So yeah, the damage is definitely not bad on the Rage Mode. It's just a matter of getting to turn 6 before you can actually use this. Alright, I think we'll have this be the final turn here. I will put Janemba in slot 1. We're going to miss Metamorphosis and Brutal Beatdown if I do this. God, I want... He's at 262k defense here. I'm going to put Cooler in the front. I think we shouldn't die. I'll use a Whis here, actually, just to make sure that we don't die. And then we should also be able to get an 18 key super with those AGL keys here, so we don't heal up past the Big Bad Boss's threshold as well. We're 1 key off 23 key. Yeah, I don't want to grab this because we'll be above the Big Bad Boss's threshold, but 23 key is good enough. This is probably going to be his best turn of the video. Yeah, 263k defense, plus we're guarding, and high chance to nullify. Alright, this will be the end of this one. Again, Janemba, I think offensively leaves a lot to be desired, but we'll see and revisit him at Rainbow and level 10 links. Let me know down below what you guys think about Janemba. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.